What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another episode of Local Diaries. So let us dive right on in. So for today's episode, we are running back an old deck that we used to play on this channel, and that is Mimighoul. I have not forgotten about you, Mimighoul enthusiasts, and we are here with an updated, newish profile that is kind of pure. And no, it is not Mimighoul Yummy. I've seen a lot of good success with that, but we refuse to play Yummy here. So without further ado, let me give you our interesting Mimighoul deck profile. It's going to look pretty similar to something that we've played in the past, but with some tweaks, since the ban list did give us one card in particular, that is what has made this deck just a little bit better. So without further ado, let me show you the profile. In playing this version of the deck, I definitely made some choices, as you can see here in the extra deck. But to kick things off, we'll start with our main deck. We are playing one Mimighoul Master with 3 copies of Mimighoul Dragon, 3 copies of Mimighoul Archfiend, and 3 copies of Mimighoul Fairy. So these are the only ones that I want to play at 3, just because extender and somewhat starters for the deck. The next one we decided up to 2 was Mimighoul Slime. We were originally just playing 1, but kind of for the grind game, I want to play 2. Also, in the inevitability that I do see 1 in hand, we still have 1 live in the deck from Mimighoul Maker, which is what I really cared for. The last one is definitely 1 copy of Mimighoul Armor. So for this version of the deck, I wanted to play as many flips as I possibly could to make the El Shadal Winda live. So playing Armor and Fairy as our 4 extenders for the deck, I think were really necessary. And in doing it, it gives us some really cool link plays, and then somewhat of Xyz lines too. But because of the window lock that we are playing, we did lose out on some of our Xyz plays, so this is a really interesting version, to say the least. And then for spells, we're playing 3 copies of Dungeon, 3 copies of Mimighoul Maker, 1 copy of Mimighoul Charm, and then 3 copies of Mimighoul Room. So I know I've said in the past that Mimighoul Charm is definitely one of those cards where it's not the greatest. But for this version, again, we're trying as best as we can to rip apart our opponent's will to play the game. And so playing this alongside of 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn and 2 copies of Fenrir is what's going to help us kind of just like control the board state and just removing things from the board itself and from their extra deck. Since Mitsurugi Yummy doesn't use much of their extra deck, but the Yummy package does, being able to get rid of some of their necessary 1-ofs is going to be really critical. So being able to do that both with Unicorn and Charm is going to really help us further. If we see any Malice, the same thing applies. And as well with any Fiendsmith variant, or anything that is really dependent on their extra deck, which I can't think of right now. Like our Draco Tail branded might hurt a little bit if we remove some of their stuff, but it's not going to be the end of the world for them. And then since we showed the Kashtira, we are playing 1 Birth, 1 Theosis. I decided to put Theosis in the deck, so that way we can special the Unicorn to grab Theosis. Theosis will get us Fenrir. Depending on what's in hand, we can end with a Unicorn, Fenrir, and Winda, which is cool. But it's very, very, very dependent on what's in hand. And this is also setting up Dungeon. Our opponent does have flip monsters face down, and we have room set, so we can flip something as well. So there's all that. And then some extenders are just parts of the deck. We are playing 2 Thrust with 1 Talent and 1 1-for-1. Definitely the power spells for the deck, since Thrust can get us into Talent, 1-for-1, Maker, and Room. We didn't want to leave anything to chance, so we are playing Thrust. I thought about playing 3, but I think 2 is solid. So far in testing, we've seen it, so I ain't going to question it. And the only hand traps we are playing are 3 copies of Fualos and then 3 copies of Ash Blossom. definitely wanted to play more, but I also thought of even just playing this as a board breaker, playing like Dark Rollers, Raigekis, Book of Eclipses, just to kind of help us solidify games. But I felt like this was just a little bit better, being able to Fua our opponent and then just get draws, and then Ash is really there for the Fua. And then for the extra deck, we already saw the one copy of Winda. Winda's going to be our kind of our win con for the night, and being able to just set up Winda and be like, all right, you can't make anything anymore. Then we're also playing the Zeus package with Nightingale, one Ripplebird, because Ripplebird does further our plays when we kind of get locked into some interesting lines. One Throne, because I think one Throne's all you really need to play this deck. As long as you can get into Master, you're solid. We are playing 2 copies of Giant Mimighoul. This is the card that I definitely think is a must to play at 2. We're playing 1 Downard with 1 Typhon and then 1 Zeus. And then for some links, we're playing 1 Relinquished Anima, 1 Link Karibo. Since these are all level 1s, Link Karibo and Shaddoll Construct help us make our Winda, because Construct just needs a Shaddoll monster and a Dark to make Winda. Bada bing, bada boom. Rather than sacrificing our Relinquished, we're able to keep Relinquished for anything that we need to use Relinquished for. Playing 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and then 1 Axis Goat Docker. Yeah, I don't really think there's much to say with the extra deck. It's almost pretty standard to any normal Mimighoul pure deck that you'll see, minus the Shaddoll package that we are playing, of course. For the extra deck, or the side deck, this was something I was battling myself with. We are playing 2 Ghost and 3 Troll. Because we do respect Mitsurugi being a thing, we decided to put these in the side deck to really just help shut down Graveyard and just adding. And our deck hardcore loses to this as well, so I know Droll is in the meta and you didn't see a call by or cross out, because this obviously is not in the main. We are taking a huge risk, and we're going to see if it pays off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then I did say we wanted to play a board breaker like approach, and that's exactly what we're doing in the side with 3 Eclipses. Rather than Raigeki, we went with Lightning Storm just so we can hit back row as well. And then 2 copies of Dark Ruler to go more, and then a new card from the Megatins in Bot Herder. So this was a card I wanted to main so very badly because of Dominus Impulse. The card reads, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls that is either face-up monster you own or a face-down defense position monster if that monster is no longer on the field, or the monster you own. If face-down, reveal it briefly to check. Apply these effects in sequence. Inflict 200 to your opponent. Take control of all monsters your opponent controls except that monster. So I mean, I think it's really good being able to like just take your opponent's stuff and then you're able to link it off. I think it's a really good card to play in Mimighoul, since we do give our opponent our cards a lot. So being able to just go Bot Herder after we give them something, target it, and then just take whatever they have, link it off and do access code or whatever, and just play from there. I think it's going to really help us break boards. I wanted to get a 3rd copy in, but we didn't want to sacrifice a Lightning Storm because we want the option to have that removal for the back row, or it being a Raigeki. But yeah, so that is our deck profile for tonight. Let's enter into the dungeons and trap our opponent into some ghouls.
So round 1, we play against my worst matchup. The worst matchup this deck could ever face is Kashtira, a deck that is retroactively trying to flip my stuff face down while I'm trying to put face downs on his turn. Game 1, we were able to control the board thanks to Dungeon and the Kashtira engine, but that was as much controlling as we got. Game 2 was a grind fest for sure. I was able to establish Fenrir, Unicorn, Zeus at one point going second, but then he swords a Concealing Light, which permanently books him and traps him forever. So that was unfortunate, losing out on my Zeus. I could have just changed Zeus, that way it wouldn't resolve, but I wanted the Fenrir. I also had Mimighoul Room, and I didn't want to lose out on Room, so I was like, I feel like that was the best course of action. But like it was a grind. It was grindy as can be. We still take the L. I think game 3 just we full combo, and then he booked my window. Sad. We tried going back and forth. We hoped to see the droll. We hoped to see the ash, but we never did. So we ended up taking the L. And I mean, they called time. But again, it was just my worst matchup possible. So we'll see where rounds 2, 3, and 4 take us though.
Round 2, we play against, and I can't believe it was insane, Ryuge Jurak. So game 1, he wins, die roll goes first. He sets up a really good board. We attempt to break it to the best of our ability. We do double Zeus, but he meteors us, and all boards are cleared. He's got two in hand. I know one of them. And I had Ash in hand, so I mean, I was like, okay. He drew, he goes the Ryuge quick play, I Ash it, and then he just passed his turn, and there we're just able to go full Mimighoul combo and just OTK. Game 2, we double fluid him, and he gave me a lot of draws. I mean, a lot. I had 12 cards in hand, and he still had a board presence, which was insane. So we special summoned Unicorn 3 different times, and we had 2 in hand. So I was completely ready to like Unicorn just fully resolve. So we were able to get Unicorn. He just popped 1. We special summoned the second one. He bounced it back when I went Maker. He then Drac Meteored, but he only could do it once. And since I had a ton of draws, we summoned Unicorn again. Because he somehow bounced it again. Yeah, he bounced it, special summoned it. He popped that one, special summoned the second one. He bounced it right back. And then I went Maker, yeah. And then he meteored after the resolution of Maker, so I couldn't we added Charm to hand because I wanted to rip apart his extra deck because I was looking for that Drac Meteor. But then when I activated the Charm, he meteored. But since we still had some of the cards in hand, we just had gas. We gassed, and we made Ripple. We had Unicorn. We were gonna OTK, and yeah, we did. So we took it from there in game 2. So not too bad when we're not having our own stuff flipped face down. But also the Fua draws were really nice. I will say I opened double Fua and then Armor, Maker, Fairy. So I mean, I was still gonna combo because he didn't have like any negates that would stop, but definitely the draws were helpful because we drew into Unicorn and then Penguin and then Theosis. So we were definitely gonna cut. But we're 1-1, 2 more rounds left. All right, so round 3 we play against Tenpai Ruler. We win die roll, we go first. We get drolled on Dragon. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. We lose game 2. We go first and we pop off, baby. We control the board and it's awesome. So awesome. I wish we had decided in Pot Herder, but we had the talents, we had it all. So I mean, we were cooking. We had the talents to look at his hand. We looked at his hand, spun back the freaking field spell because I don't like that field spell. That Tenpai field spell can stay in the deck. It can stay in the deck. Yeah, and we just control it. We took it. Game 3, we sided in all the board breakers that we had. We did keep Fua, Ash, and Droll. We attempted to Droll, but he had the call by, so that sucked. Wish I had that Ghost Spell. But, and then we drew Lightning Storm for turn. We Lightning Stormed his monsters, but he was able to keep control still with Spheres. And then we Archfiend him. We got a draw with his Bot Herder. Bot Herder, I swore was going to win me the duel, but since I misplayed and I should have kept Field Spell live, but I popped the Field Spell like an idiot. I got greedy. Yeah, had I kept Field Spell, linked off his Roku and Ripplebird for SP, we would have had a very much different board state. But again, I got a little too greedy and I was like trying to push damage as much as I could. I should have kept throwing on boards, that way I'd have a bounce live, we'd have SP, but I wasn't thinking correctly. It's been a long time since I've played the deck. So we take an L because he goes Tempai and does Tempai things. So we lose. We lose. Yeah. So we're 1-2. We'll stay for the last and final round as much as I'm debating leaving because I am tired. But we're going to push through and see how far we can push Mimighoul. Just one more round. So round 4, last and final round. We played against Cyber Dragon, OTK. He makes me go first. We set up board with Fenrir, Unicorn, the whole shebang. He dark holes me. Sag. Dark holes me again after I keep my master because I still had a Mimighoul. So my board is lost. I still have room though, so we hold out on room. So I mean, it was a big grind. It took us 30 minutes to play game 1. Game 2, since he didn't play any hand traps, we went into the window lock. So we made Unicorn, Fender, window, room, gave him a Mimighoul face down, had Dungeon Live. We had it all. So I mean, we made board to make sure that he could not play. The whole purpose of the deck, like I said, is to make your opponent just lose the will to keep playing. And that's exactly what we did, and we take it, and we go 2-2 for the night. Do I feel great about doing that? No. Was it fun? I'm not gonna lie, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was. But that's it for this little diaries, everyone. I know we're not gonna place in the top 4 because went 2-2. But like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys would like to see next, and we'll pass it over to you.